I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Hey, what's up, everybody? What's going on? Welcome to the Briarpatch After Show here on AfterBuzz TV. I am your host, Brandon Hanna, and today I am joined by a full panel. I have three amazing co-hosts sitting next to me. Starting to my immediate left, it's QueenEsther again.
How you all doing? I am here. I'm excited. I cannot wait. So much to talk about today.
So much to talk about, and I am super excited to introduce for the first time another great co-host. It's Keven.
Hey everyone! Hey, thanks for having me.
And hi everyone.
Yes, and of course, last but not least, we have Janice Nyam.
Hi everyone, I'm Janice. I'm here on the live chat, so if you want to tell us how we look, if we look good, you want to tell us that, like always, comment, share your thoughts about the episode with us. I'm going to read out some of your comments, so definitely interact with us.
Yeah, it's your show too.
Yes. Well, we do know. We all look pretty good, let's be honest.
Thank you.
Which is why you should definitely be watching the show live on YouTube if you have the chance. If not, iTunes is always great too.
I put too much work into this, so thank you.
We do have an amazing show for you guys today. Strucker is still alive. What is going on there?
I cannot believe it.
I thought he was a goner for sure.
I don't think it's fair. Just saying.
It's not.
Okay.
What did he ever do to you?
We'll see. We'll see if there's more mysteries to be unraveled there, but we also have Allegra confronting a stalker. That's a big turning point in this episode. A lot more mysteries to be unraveled. And of course, speaking of mysteries, does Jake have a secret plan? What is going on there? Is he on Allegra's side? Is he only caring about himself? What exactly
Selfish.
is he involved in? We don't know yet, but we hope to find out soon. And for our special segment today, we have Cover-Ups Uncovered. Keven is going to be uncovering these cover-ups, real-life investigations of corruption. Can't wait to get into that. And in celebrity news and gossip, we have a behind-the-scenes surprise you're not going to want to miss. But first of all, let's just get into our overall thoughts on this episode. What did you all think?
I was hungry. And I was like, why do they have ice cream and I don't have ice cream? Sorry, these are things that I think about. This is what's important to me. Ice cream and snowball. I was like, take
And
that
they
to Houston.
finally-
I love
They went to
snowballs.
Lupe's finally. I think that was Lupe's.
I don't know.
No, it was actually Lupe's because I did look it up.
Was?
It
Okay.
was. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I was like, why am I not eating? It's not fair at all.
I believe
You
he
know?
did bring her breakfast from Lupe's.
He
did.
Yeah.
And
she didn't want
She
it.
didn't even eat it. She just trashed it. That's just rude.
There's a lot of food waste in this episode when you mention it.
Those poor
Scandal.
snow cones.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
like
That was
snow
just
cones.
rude.
Everyone's just eating food from their bodies. Like we saw Cindy, who was like rolling ice all through her body. She was like, I was like, what is going on? Then we have Cyrus lick up ice cream from
Let
his
me
collar.
tell you,
I don't know
I
what the
love
hell that
Cyrus.
was. That was
Cyrus
just so
is my
cringy to me.
man.
I can't.
Cyrus is my man. I love Cyrus. I want to hang out with him every day. I feel like Cyrus, like in his afterlife or like in his other job, he's probably like a travel food blogger.
Really?
Or like a chef. Because he just loves food a lot.
I believe it.
True.
You know what I mean?
That's a good observation.
He just loves food. I mean, like, just that? Oh, no. I like you, Cyrus.
He came all the way from Mexico, right? So that ice cream has been there
It's
for
been there.
like how many hours?
And it's not even dry.
It's
it's
not
not
dry.
even dry.
So,
I like
what's going
Cyrus.
on?
Cyrus, you're my
Yeah.
man.
Maybe him and Allegra connect with food because they were always talking about like, oh, where did you eat? And he got like a recommendation for Lupe's from her the last time, and then she's like, oh, how was the ice cream? Maybe that's like the connection they both have.
But she only does that with him.
Yeah.
So I think it's just his thing, like you were pointing out. I think it's a
Right.
brilliant observation.
Interesting.
Yeah, he's just
After
super quirky.
all of the suits, when all the suits out, he's a food blogger. That's his after
Food
lunch
and
job.
drinking is like the two main things in the show.
Yeah.
Well, it's a very hot town in Texas. Like, I'm not surprised by this at all.
Yeah.
Can
Yeah,
we also talk about, I'm so sorry to cut you off, but why is Allegra always wearing a suit if it's 100 degrees outside?
She's very professional. She's
Always.
there to
It is.
conduct
And
business.
she never sweats. Like, what's going on?
Yeah, I think I noticed in particular in this episode,
Yeah.
they took multiple occasions to show you that it was over 100
Yeah.
degrees.
Yeah.
With the sign outside.
Yeah.
She actually said on one of their press interviews, she said that she was trying to see if they could probably just have some kind of moments where they would sweat. And the director was like, no. She does not sweat
Interesting.
at all. That's not part of it. No. She was
She's
like,
too cool to
there is
sweat.
no way that you're going to be sweating in this suit. No, it's not happening. Yeah.
Yeah, I do love that. I think that's an interesting creative choice too, to have this lead character that you literally never see her sweat.
At all.
Yeah.
She's
Maybe
so
it's a sign of
cool.
weakness. She's like, no,
She's like
you can't. I'm
007,
above
you know?
guys.
Just cool. I like her.
Yeah, I mean, and speaking of high temperatures, last episode we thought Strucker was a goner in that inferno in that car explosion. I don't know if we got any explosions in this episode. It's kind of disappointing.
I am very sad because remember last time I was like, they
Every episode should have an explosion.
I was disappointed. Writers, producers, look at me. I was disappointed. You did not give that to me. I was waiting for it, like waiting for it. It's
no
so
fun
annoying.
if you know it's coming. Come on, it's no fun.
No, it's still fun for me. I just want to
just wanna see explosions.
someone needs to just blown away.
I know exactly what you mean. I was really looking forward to talking about safari animals, but I missed it. I wasn't here last week, so I missed my chance. And
I mean, we did see the cat in the beginning, I guess.
I don't want to talk about that. Poor Donna.
What happened to that cat? Was it killed by the tiger?
I think it got mauled by the
think it
tiger.
was-
Yeah.
so.
by the tiger. Yeah.
Or something. I mean,
So-
it could. I don't know if they ever got that crocodile, but
No, it has to be the tiger because the way they shot it almost felt like there was a very invisible kind of face of a tiger just kind of like
it
coming
was definitely
out.
a predator.
You know, so tiger, you're bad.
Yeah, poor Donna. So there's our big murder from this episode is Donna the cat, and then got buried in the yard. Like
Later on.
it's a cover up.
Moment of silence for Donna the cat.
There's just moments of silence, everybody. Okay.
Okay,
Back.
so
Terrible.
back to Strucker.
Yes, right.
He's
right.
alive.
Let's talk about the human.
Yes, sorry. Yes.
So maybe
Yeah.
that's why no more explosions. If people are just going to keep surviving, then what are the stakes anymore?
And they did the whole bomb search. Like they brought out all the bomb dogs. They were looking under the cars, brought out the suits.
Yeah.
Like clearly the police are looking for explosives now. So whoever's behind this act, whatever serial arsonist it is, they're going to have a new tactic. Which, since we don't know who it is or what they're being funded by, it could be something totally new and big that we haven't seen yet.
But okay, so this is where I have a problem. You guys probably think I'm crazy, but why is he alive and Felicity is not alive?
That's what I was gonna say. I feel like
Felicity's
Chief Strucker.
alive.
No, I think she's gone.
Now that would be
That's
wonderful.
a very good prediction. That might be wrong.
She's the criminal mastermind. You heard it here first. She faked her own
She
death.
faked her own death. I think we kind of talked about that last episode.
Yeah.
But I was going to say, I think Strucker was always meant to survive this crash. Maybe Allegra was going to be the person to die. But since she didn't go in, I don't know if that makes sense.
But how would you
know?
kill her in the car and not him? Like it's
He probably has
blowing up a car is
bulletproof
not an
something.
exact
Sorry.
science.
Yeah, that makes no sense. Yeah. I don't know why. That was a huge explosion. Like,
Yeah,
I don't know how he survived that.
yeah, that's
I
just
really don't.
sad.
He probably is alive because there's so many twists in the show as it is. I can't imagine them untwisting the thing. But all we saw of Strucker was a full body cast, and his wife was there, which makes us the viewer go, "Well, that must be him." But you can't. There's nothing to identify that the man lying in that bed is Strucker.
So what are you trying to say?
Maybe there's this cover up where they said he's alive, even though he's not, and
Just to see how other people react to him not being alive?
yeah, because they didn't get their real target or something. I don't know. There's so much of the show I don't know.
Yeah,
but
everyone is very, very questionable. There's
just-
no one that I think is like for sure a good person.
Yeah, I just want to know what is so different from the bomb that was in his car from the bomb that was in Felicity's car.
But that's what I mean. I can't think of what would be different, why he couldn't survive. I have no idea how he could have survived that. So my brain's going, well, he didn't survive, and the man in the full body cast is not really him.
Maybe there are two bummers then. Maybe there's like a copycat bummer who is trying to.
Okay, that's just too much. That's just too much.
And he couldn't do it well. He's like, oh, I guess I didn't make the bum very well. So.
We are really deep diving into this one. And speaking
Yeah.
of potential
Yeah.
cover-ups, we do get a hint that there might be a lot more to the story from Felicity's ex-boyfriend. But before we get into that, I just want to say thank you to all the viewers at home for making us the ESPN of TV Talk. We wouldn't be able to do this show without you.
Yes.
So please like this video if you're watching right now. Join us in the live chat. Tell us your crazy conspiracy theories. Leave a comment down below. Give us a positive rating on iTunes. That really, really helps this show. And just thank you. We're so happy to be here to talk about this show,
are.
and we really want to hear your conspiracy theories because I
Absolutely.
bet they are way crazier than ours. Even though Janice, she's giving you a run for your money, so you better bring your A game. But Felicity, we find she does have an ex-boyfriend, a former football player who got injured, and he is stalking Allegra in this episode. And like a badass, she kind of confronts him in the middle of traffic on her way to the zoo,
was a really
I
cool
believe.
scene. Yeah.
I was really hoping we were going to see the zoo, but maybe next time.
We saw the parking lot.
We saw it. And he kind of brings up that there is potential conspiracy involved, that they're going to try to frame him because that is how him and Felicity were taught as police officers to frame other people. So there might be a lot of corruption with the police in this
I was kind
town.
of confused. Was Floyd part of the police?
Yes, he was.
He was.
Yeah. I believe it's brought up that Felicity's other boyfriend who's still
Jane.
married.
Jane
Yeah,
Coulter.
he had brought up that this other guy was brought onto the police force, but it was more of like a publicity thing because he was a former professional football player.
And he got injured, right?
Yeah, he got injured on like the first game.
I actually do like him.
trust him?
He's interesting.
I don't trust him yet, but I do like him because I think even when they had a running scene with Allegra, and she had that moment where she had her mental moments of like the sound and all that.
Oh, that was, I think, just dehydration.
When they were running.
Yeah,
Well, she had a concussion from the explosion.
From explosion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
Okay.
he kind of like, he's like, oh, you got a headache. It's the buzzing noise in your ears. Because as a former football player, he also had to deal with concussions.
Okay,
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
That's a very good.
And
I
he
forgot that.
And he said he was gonna bring her something. I was like, oh, he's so nice. You know.
You think he was serious about that?
I don't think
Yes.
I don't think it's a nice something.
Yeah, I don't think so.
You don't think so?
I think he was like.
I have
threatening her.
hope for him, people. I do.
I do too. He's one of the few characters so far that has told her something and then it's
actually-
kind of followed through on.
Yes.
Where he said, this is what's going to happen tomorrow with the police and how they're going to treat me in this investigation. And that turned to be true,
Yeah.
which I'm not seeing a whole lot of that elsewhere in the
I think
show.
A.D. Singe is also another character that also follows through. I know you guys don't trust him,
I
but
don't
I do trust him.
100%
I don't trust
you.
him.
In the beginning, he did say that.
You are in with me? Yes. Team no AD, team AD.
Team AD over here. But in the beginning, A.D. Singe was like, "Oh, Allegra, you should, watch the cops in this town. They are all, sketchy. Like, we don't believe them. Even your sister told me not to believe the cops, and she herself was a cop." And also, we see Floyd. Sorry, not Scott. Floyd Spivey basically says the same thing. Not
Sorry,
Spivey.
Floyd or Jake?
Floyd, sorry.
Floyd, yeah.
I'm confusing the names.
There's
But
a lot of
Floyd
people.
basically tells Allegra the same thing, like, "Oh, the cops here are gonna try to pin this on me. Nothing here,
Yeah.
You can't trust anyone here." So
Yeah.
I feel like if Floyd is taking the same side as A.D. Singe, I believe him for sure.
Well, I guess we just have to find out because I have this feeling that AD has something under his sleeve. Did you see the scene of him holding the check that Allegra gave to him?
I did not.
Yeah, I
Yes.
caught that. I was trying to
And-
read all of it
Yeah.
to figure out what was off about it.
She paid him $500 and for his lawyer fees. For his lawyer fees, and the way he looked at her is very sneaky. You guys know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I don't really trust him at all.
I don't.
I think he's a liar.
He is a liar.
They have that conversation early on in the episode where she confronts him about the car bomb and that he knew, and he like makes up some ridiculous
Story.
excuse, like, "Oh, I was just in the neighborhood because I knew you'd probably be there, and I want to look out
cops.
for you, and I didn't want you to go in the car because I don't trust cops."
What? You don't believe that?
No,
That someone would not trust a police officer?
When he really weirdly walks up
Just
there and
walk
starts speaking
up.
French.
The timing was amazing.
Well,
too.
It was impeccable timing. He knew the car bomb was in there.
Okay,
Come
I'll
on.
say this. I
knew.
don't have a reason for why he just happened to be there. Like, that's a little stalkery, which I guess we're team stalker if we're on his side and Floyd. But they're stalking for good.
Exactly. Yeah, I feel like he's sketchy in a way that he's trying to protect her.
I think he is trying to protect her, but I think he lied about not knowing about the car bomb. There's
I don't
no
think
way.
he knew-
That's way too big of a coincidence. And why would you? Why
You
would
make a good point.
Why would you
I don't
try to
know.
do all these French code words to get someone to not go into
they
a
weren't
car
code
that's not
words.
going to explode?
They weren't code words. I remember you guys saying that last episode that you thought he was speaking in some French code word that possibly was like childhood speak that Felicity and Allegra used to do. I just think he's terrible at French. I think he wanted to say something that made sense to her, but that only Allegra would understand because he knows that Strucker doesn't speak French. So he probably was trying to say, like, you need to leave the car now. And came out, you need the fish now, or whatever.
At the end of the day, Floyd is the only nice person right now. Floyd is the only nice person right now, in my opinion, and I think that he's very sweet. And I think he's actually going to be the one to help her get more information to who killed the sister.
Yeah, I mean, he did come back when she collapsed, so, like, he didn't just leave her there.
Yeah, which
he
is
didn't even
nice.
give her a hand to get up. He was just like,
That's true.
by the way,
But he said he'll bring her something. I thought that was
I think he was just like, oh yeah, you're never gonna catch me. That's what that seemed to me.
Well, because he tried to help her up, she'd knock him down or something.
Yeah, it was
crafty.
pretty funny. Like even despite the fact that he's limping because he has that injury, he was like, next time don't chase after a running back.
Yeah. It was funny.
But did you notice that the running seemed like they were so close to each other at the beginning, and then it just kept on like going, like so much distance.
Well, it's because he knows how to cover distance. He's a running back.
Okay.
We do have a comment.
That's how he got on the police force. He can chase
we
people.
did?
Yes, we have a comment from Janine Bryce. I hope I'm saying that right. She said, I haven't finished the episode yet, but she wanted to send us some love. She said, you guys are having an awesome conversation.
Thank you.
And you guys look great.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks, Janine.
Thank you, Janine. What are you doing watching this right now? Turn this off and come back
Sorry for
later.
spoiling it.
I mean, we really appreciate you.
Don't. That's so cool.
Thanks, Janine.
Yeah,
I'm happy to see a comment.
Yeah.
very awesome. Keep them coming. So let's get to Jake. Does he have a secret plan? That phone call at the end was really fishy, where she despite what's his name, the ice cream dude,
Cyrus.
I'm gonna get these names.
I got you.
Thank you.
This is why I'm your partner.
That's it.
Don't know about
I
them.
don't trust
No.
them.
Partner
Yes.
for AD.
So despite Cyrus's explicit instructions not to tell Jake about, I believe it's his former partner in crime crossing the
Brattle.
border. She tells him anyway. She gives him a heads up that his life might be in danger, and he kind of makes a comment about his plan is now working, or is like she's doing what he wants her to do. So he's got some sort of ulterior motive.
Can I just say that there was at that moment it almost felt like a love scene, like
The phone call?
yes, like I know you're bad, but I still got love for you, like an old school kind of love for you. So I'm just gonna warn you just a little bit, but I'm still gonna come after you. You have to just kind of figure out how far you want to run, so I don't have to catch you.
I think she's interested in putting him behind bars, but she doesn't want to see him dead. But the FBI or whoever she works for is like, nah, like we would get him, dead or alive. So, but it's really nice to see her care about someone. Like we just see her; she has a very blank expression all the time, and this is something that other people were talking about the show. I think in the comments they were like, "Oh, why is she so like stagnant in her expression? Like she doesn't really seem like she's grieving in a way."
She actually did smile a lot on this episode.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah.
She did.
Yeah. Which is
I think
very
Barbara was a very, very good influence on her.
It was. Yeah.
Like she's very playful. She's very witty, and I think she likes that. To see someone who isn't afraid of her shell, and someone who's like, you know what, I'm gonna break this shell and like give you a hug. And that was really nice to see. Now, what do you guys think? How do you feel about?
Keven is just like thinking.
Yeah, I'm thinking.
He's in deep thought.
Yeah.
I think he might be with me. I don't know. I don't trust Jake. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't. I
think,
liked him, but I don't trust him anymore.
I think.
But who ever trusted Jake? Like you cannot trust him.
I think Jake
he's a bad
wears,
guy.
I think he wears his heart on his sleeve. Like he's always like talking about what he's gonna do. Like he doesn't. I think he knows he's a bad guy, and he knows people know he's a bad guy, so he doesn't really try to hide it too much. But I feel like with him and Allegra, there's like a different, level to it because they grew up together and she knows him before he became the bad guy, basically. And so she sees that him from before.
I think as far as figuring out and resolving her sister's death and who did it, I feel like she should be talking to Jake more because he's someone who's in a position of power and he's not the authorities. He's not like anyone, like she's someone that she can kind of trust. And I think she should be leveraging that more, and I think towards the end of this episode, she starts to realize that she also should be doing that. And then right when you think, like, yeah, maybe she's doing the right thing, he does this weird dance, he sniffs some coke, and that was something else.
Oh my God.
I know you loved that scene, Queen.
That was just like,
Yeah, he's insane. I know you guys like him as a character.
I love
You
that
guys,
dancing.
Oh, he's a great character.
Yeah.
He's a great character.
I felt like him in episode 1 was like, he's, endearing, his craziness is endearing, but now I'm just like, oh my God, if this guy says another weedy thing, I'm just gonna like kill myself. Like, he has gotten to a point where I just can't stand him.
I think part of it is in the first episode, he has this presence about him, and he's very forthright about it. He admits, like, yeah, I own giraffes. I'm that weirdo. And when she questions him, I mean, she kind of had to coerce him a little bit, but he answered all of her questions, and he wasn't keeping too much from her. Like, he certainly didn't lie. So the kind of person that he is, he's aware of that he's not, a Boy Scout, and this is who I am, and we're all aware of it. Everything was out in the open. But now we're seeing not everything is out in the open. He's kind of got this facade going with having, like, I'm fearless, but there's all these hired guns around him. And then the entire last scene with the phone call, and there's this secret ulterior motive behind him. And so I feel like he's been acting the fool to probably keep everyone's guard down. He's powerful, but as long as he's the quirky, fun guy who just likes beer, like, no one's going to question him about anything.
Yeah.
That's true.
And now here we are, questioning everything.
And because he knows Allegra very well, he's using her weak points to be able to get what he wants and protect himself. So he's definitely using that childhood mindset of what he knows about her to protect himself, which is very genius of him.
She's got connections with a very popular senator, and
We
he can
didn't get to
exploit
the
that.
senator this episode, other than the note he sent.
And his TV commercials in both English and Spanish.
He's very influential.
Yeah, I know there's a lot that we could unravel there, but I do think it's time we get into our special segment for this week, Cover-Ups Uncovered Real-Life Investigations of Corruption, and Keven is here to take us away with that.
So clearly, we're trying to figure all this out. There's a lot going on, and we just don't know where to start. So we're going to look to the real world for inspiration and figure out how some actual cover-ups exist. So for the past couple of weeks, there has been this investigation in San Francisco. 3 San Francisco supervisors, Matt Haney, Gordon Marr, and Dean Preston, proposed to hire an independent investigator to look into the Department of Public Works for the San Francisco Airport Commission, because they didn't trust their own government to do it, because it's corrupt as hell.
Of course.
So particularly, they were looking into a man named Mohammed Nuru. Nuru and his friend Nick Bovis, who is the owner of Lefty O'Doul's restaurant, were accused of multiple bribery and fraud schemes. One of them being that they bribed an airport commissioner to approve a restaurant lease for Bovis's Lefty O'Doul's, I guess, to be in the airport. Seems like small-time stuff. Nothing big there. But Nuru also has a 75-page complaint against him that he was given free lodging, travel, and wine worth over $2,000 by a Chinese billionaire developer, Zhang Li, of the CEO of R&F Properties, to expedite permitting processes for property that this developer was trying to develop. So much bigger than just having an airport restaurant.
No.
So anyway, these 3 supervisors, they hired the private investigator to look into him. I believe it was Matt Haney was saying that Nuru's approach was fostered and protected by the city leaders who turned a blind eye, and it is imperative that City Hall sends a message that we will have zero tolerance for blatant corruption. The mayor said that she was surprised and very disappointed by these allegations against Director Nuru. And the reason she's so darn surprised is because she's a friend of his for 20 years, and they used to date. So now the mayor's involved. Because it turns out that this past Friday, she confessed that, yes, I had a relationship with him, and we've been friends for years. I write this in the spirit of transparency because in the wake of scandal at City Hall, I think San Franciscans are entitled to hear directly from their mayor. So Nuru paid $6,000, sorry, $5,600 last year for car repairs for her. and she hasn't paid him back. So technically, it's a gift. Ooh. So yeah,
Bribery.
the $2,000 of wine and travel is one thing, and this is $5,600 toward the city mayor for car repairs.
That's crazy.
And that's like all these things against him are just kind of like he's being investigated by the FBI, but still somehow has a job high up as a director in San Francisco's Public Works. She says, the mayor says, I never asked Mohammed Nuru to do anything improper, and he never asked me to do anything improper. But everybody else, these supervisors are saying like, yo, this is a mission of thousands of dollars of gift is clearly illegal. It's definitely unethical.
Yes.
And it's part of a casual, this is what Gordon Marr said, part of a casual corruption that is eroding the faith of the public. So it just keeps going over in San Francisco. Yep.
So much corruption.
Insane.
I could go on, but
that is absolutely insane. That sounds like season 2 of Briarpatch, to be honest. This show maybe is not as crazy and outlandish as we think it is now.
Probably not.
Everything is based in reality.
Everything.
Guys.
Yeah.
If the San Francisco Zoo like broke out too, then we'd just be right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that was. Oh God, maybe the zoo.
Thank you for that. That was intense.
Right?
Yes, thank you
It
so
was
much,
one thing,
Keven.
like the
That
guy's
was.
already being investigated by the FBI, and the mayor's like, oh, no, this is bad. But since
There's so
we're
much
talking about it, and
evidence,
then
and I don't
drops a
understand
whole
how.
new revelation.
Yeah, that's a great story. Some absolutely incredible research. Let us know, viewers watching right now, listening right now on iTunes, if you want to hear more crazy stories like this. We will bring back this awesome cover-ups uncover special
You
segment.
guys have time for one more comment?
One more comment? Sure.
Well, if you just said, like, if you guys want to hear more of this, let us know.
guess
Alright,
so.
so we have a couple comments from ER's grandpa. That's their name.
All right.
Okay.
They said, yeah, Rosario Dawson's character Allegra does seem kind of wooden character-wise, but still it's, Rosario Dawson. So she's happy.
Yeah.
She's happy with it.
Yeah.
And then, or he, sorry. And
Right, grandpa.
they also say Jake even got his own barber angry. You remember the scene where
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think
He
they seem to agree
he
with
gets
me
cut.
that, Jake is getting on everyone's nerves. But yeah, keep commenting, guys. Thank you
Please,
so
thank
much, ER's
you.
grandpa, for commenting.
Yeah.
But I love his beers. They're so hot and sexy.
I'm working
will
to
have
get
him on
mine.
the show.
Mine's not quite as full.
You're doing better
for
than
those of
I
you
am.
watching,
It
but
looks very similar to yours. But
Yes.
yeah.
his
very
is
similar.
he's got a
Are you
little
guys
more.
cousins?
We might be.
You
but
got
I'm-
me beat. though.
I'm
You're
not
totally
allowed to
fine.
say if we're cousins because for reasons.
Got you. Got you.
But we do have some celebrity news and gossip.
Yeah.
Speaking of things getting tense, this is not a razor blade to the neck or anything, but QueenEsther has some behind-the-scenes suspense that she would like to
Yeah.
share.
Yes. So you guys remember the scene when she was running and kind of like in pursuit of Floyd?
Yes.
So she, Rosario has a little bit of moment behind the scenes because she's the first person on the call list. Every single time, she gets to see other actors perform and how amazing they are, and she applauds them. Everybody kind of applauds, everybody, and just really amazing. However, she only gets applauded only when she runs in heels.
I feel like as women, we all know the struggle. So.
I've never ran in heels,
But
so
you
I
can
think it's
see-
very applause-worthy.
It's crazy.
Because she was like, I go through this 3 pages of scripts in like one take and one breath, and which
That
is
is
like
amazing.
so amazing, and no
I
one
love
applauds
that.
me for it, but
Yeah.
I only get applauded when it's just me running in heels, like seriously. So she had a little bit of moments, she was like, I'm fabulous, but yes, the heels is good, but can I get applauded for other things that I'm doing? Yeah, that was quite funny when I heard that. I was like, well, girl, if you can run in heels, you're a
I
superwoman.
want to see more scenes like that.
Yeah.
Her running?
breaking out of character. And like being uncomfortable, because all the time she just like seems very composed and perfect. It's good to see her break form. in
Yeah,
that way.
absolutely. And those heels are not like 2 inches of heels.
Oh, no.
I think they're probably like 4 inches of heels. And as a girl that I wear heels all the time, I wear like 4 to 6 inches. That is amazing if you can run in heels like that.
And pretty fast too. She wasn't like
And with suits.
chasing someone.
That wide
Yeah.
shot, I was like, this is exactly what's happening. There's no camera tricks or
No,
anything.
she's
No.
actually.
I think we all agree that Rosario Dawson deserves all the credit and
She
respect
does.
in the world.
She does.
But I mean, if Jurassic World has taught me anything, if you can outrun a T-Rex in heels, how hard could it really be?
I know, right? Yeah, that is ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Oh my god.
Oh man. So not even gonna applaud that. Okay.
No.
Okay, come on. I thought that was pretty funny.
That's fine.
I feel like a character is also kind of similar to that character in Jurassic World, you know?
Similar, yeah.
Same.
Like,
Like, very like prim and proper and, you know, but when shit gets real.
yeah, very
sorry.
stern, taking care of business. Like,
Yeah.
I get it.
Okay.
You can't,
It's fine.
Yeah.
We've only got a few minutes left, so I definitely want to talk into our predictions
Ooh, I'm excited.
for next week.
AfterBuzz TV prediction.
At the end of this episode, Allegra is attacked in her hotel room, and I wonder, does it have anything to do with Jake's potential plan? Is it somebody else? Is it someone from the government? Is it someone from in town? Is it someone from the police force?
I thought it was an animal at first. I was like, oh.
Another one. Another animal breaking into the
strangled by an
hotel.
ostrich.
We don't know where that tiger from the last episode went.
No.
So I was like, okay,
waiting for
shit must have
tiger.
get in.
Well, we know it got the
Went out.
cat.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah,
Went outside
yeah.
Captain Holder's helm. That's.
I actually thought it was the senator coming back for the.
I thought so too. Yeah.
You know, for the 50 Shades of Grey
For
kind of moments.
round two,
you know.
round
And then it was like something. I'm like, okay, wait. So it's not him. So who could it be?
That is the first
then-
person who just
yeah.
showed up in her
Yeah,
hotel
and
and
that's okay.
surprised
Could
her.
it be Floyd? But Floyd would not just come and just like attack her and take whatever file that she was holding and not say anything. So I'm a little bit like,
I don't think Floyd is that sophisticated as a person. But
He's more of like a tire wrench kind
Yeah,
of guy. Okay.
He did say he would be back.
he did.
To give her something, but this person
To
took
give
something.
her a chokehold.
Okay, I guess that counts. I think the only real clue as to who done it in that moment is the folder. And so they opened up the folder and they took the contents of it. And that was the folder for Jake Spivey, right?
Yeah, I think Cyrus picked
It wasn't
up
the one that she was carrying around for her sister.
No, I think it was the one that Jake gave her, but that everyone looked at and was like, "Oh, there's nothing in
But
here."
now, did she hand that off to Cyrus? I missed
No,
this.
he picked it up like
And
he
there
didn't
was
even
nothing
open
in
it.
it,
He picked
Yeah,
it up and
I remember
he was like,
that.
"What's this?"
It was-
like one sheet of
Yeah.
paper and just like dropped it.
So he
back.
just left the whole thing.
Yeah.
Then yeah, they took the
So
the
maybe
very
there-
weak contents
Maybe
of that
there's
folder.
more contents in that folder than we think, or the person who took it is just kind of dumb.
I don't know.
I don't know.
my prediction is Clyde. Done. Clyde.
Clyde killed-
Yeah. No, he didn't kill her, but he definitely showed up.
Oh, okay.
I think
Clyde
that-
Brattle
yeah,
came to town.
I think he's the one, and then they'll show him on the next episode.
Yeah, and that was supposed to be incriminating evidence against him.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
we'll see.
I mean, there's a lot to uncover, but I mean, that just about wraps it up for this week's episode. Thank you so much for joining us here at AfterBuzz TV to cover
Yeah,
Briarpatch.
guys,
This
this
was
was
a
fun.
lot of fun. QueenEsther, where can people find you online?
QueenEsther E, Instagram, and Facebook.
And Keven Allen, what about you? Where can people find you?
I'm on Instagram at Keven Allen Graham.
Love it.
And I'm on Instagram and Twitter at Nyam Janice, NYAMJNICE. Come say hi.
And I am Brandon Hanna. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at BrandonHanna07. And you can find all of us back here next week at 3 o'clock Pacific time. Tune in live. It's going to be a lot of fun. We want to hear your comments. We want to hear your theories of speculation because that's what we live for. So thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you next week.
Bye.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.